Hey, Cousin Jack here with another episode of Wood Carving Weekly. And this week, should you put glue on your gloves? We'll talk about the passing of a wood carving legend, and we'll take a spin around YouTube and share some wood carving projects with you. As usual, I'll have links for all of the resources in the description right below this video, and then also in the comments section a little bit further down the page right under this video. Let's get started. Well, over at Stinnett Sticks, Mike Stinnett has a brand new video. And this time around, he's carving a walking stick as usual. This one features a rattlesnake on the shaft of the stick, and then he's also carving a cane topper or a stick topper that looks, to me, like a dragon, but it's actually supposed to be a fossilized dinosaur skull. So Mike is using a piece of Tupelo wood, which is favored by a lot of power carvers. It doesn't fuzz up like basswood. And he starts out by using a clay model of what is called a Draco Rex dinosaur skull. Like I said, it looks a lot like a dragon. Anyway, he starts with that clay model, and then Mike grabs his piece of Tupelo and begins his power carving. Now, the level of detail that he puts into his carvings is just amazing, and you'll see it in the video. He's placing on the scales of the snake one by one. He sets the teeth in the dinosaur skull one by one. He hand paints them singularly as well. He does a great job. It's interesting because Mike says he's always been kind of fascinated by fossils. And he takes a little walk around, picking up some different fossilized pieces of bone and talking about them. In the video, you'll also see a horned toad, a hummingbird, and of course, Mike's little dog Pearl. It's an amazing walking stick. I think you'll really enjoy the video. There's a new video this week from Gene Messer, and Gene is taking his inspiration from woodcarver Jill Motovidlak. Now, Jill was featured in the fall issue of Woodcarving Illustrated with a little folk art style carving that she calls Ichabod's Flight. It shows Ichabod Crane on horseback with a little pumpkin in there too. It's a perfect Halloween project, and Jean reached out to Jill and asked for her permission to go ahead and do a tutorial video series. Of course, she said, go for it. Well, Jean is sharing his thoughts and his process for carving Jill's design. And early on, he mentions that these different pieces have to be cut out in advance, and he recommends a bandsaw. Not only that, but Gene also tells you what to look for in a good bandsaw and where you might go to pick up a used one. Good recommendations for anyone who's on the market for a new saw, or I should say a used one. Now, this is a great project, and like I said, it's the folk art style, and I think it's just in time for Halloween, and it should be a lot of fun. If you need the pattern, just get yourself the fall issue of Woodcarving Illustrated. We also have a new video this week from Roger Stegal, and Roger is doing a tutorial series on a little Santa figure holding a candy cane. Now, as usual, Roger is going to start from a bandsaw cutout. Sometimes he uses a rough out, but this time it is a cutout. And he takes you through the steps of roughing out the shape. He uses quite a variety of tools as usual, and they're very sharp. He mentions that this is the first part of a series of tutorial videos for this figure, and that he's also going to do a follow-up series on a separate figure called Mrs. Claus. It's kind of a fun video, and Roger does mention that he's going to share the pattern for the Santa holding the candy cane. Now, if you need the pattern, all you have to do is send an email to the address you see here on the screen and ask Roger for a copy of that pattern. Well, up next we'll talk about gloves, but before we do that, I want to say thank you to the woodcarving community for all the support. We are this close to 1,800 subscribers, and the channel is really growing. I appreciate you supporting the channel and then also telling your friends. You know, having cut-resistant gloves can help protect you while you're carving. But some gloves are kind of slick and make it difficult to hold on to the wood while you're carving. Now, there are some gloves that come with a grippy type of surface like this one right here from the DexFit company, right? They have some grip to them. And then you have gloves like my old favorite right here that are pretty slick. It can be very difficult to hold on to a carving, although it's a very comfortable glove for me to wear. Now, to help with the grip, sometimes you'll see people putting Coban or safety tape around the fingers to just get some sort of grip. And that's what I like to use. Well, over at the Whittling Willow YouTube channel, the creator has a new video where he's suggesting that you put some silicone glue onto the surface, the palm and fingers of your glove to help provide more grip. This is an interesting video, and he shows you his process, and he talks about how he puts it on and then lets it cure to the point where then he can use it for carving. There's also some really fun kind of sound effects that he's added of the wood slipping out of his hand, and I really like that, enjoy that a lot. Here's the thing that I'm kind of wondering about, and I don't know the answer. Maybe you do. If I put that silicone on this glove, what happens if I want to wash it? You know, every once in a while I like to take this and throw it in the washing machine. Looks like it's overdue, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, what would happen if I put that silicone glue on there and then toss it into the washing machine? I don't know, and I don't want to try and find out because Sonny would probably not be happy. Anyway, take a look at the video and see what you think. Up next, we'll feature a video from the Maker Experience YouTube channel. In this video, the creator is using a Swiss Army knife and he's whittling a stick. In the project, he's basically making the shape of a little shark. And he adds some commentary to help you along the way and talks about the various steps in the carving process. He also does a nice job of sharing some conceptual drawings. There's a top view and a side view of the shark. And I think you can get the idea and follow along relatively easily. This video is about 7 minutes long. And if you enjoy whittling with a pocket knife on a stick, this one might be for you. Van Kelly has a new video this week. He's carving a hillbilly bust into a wooden spoon blank. Now this is part 1, according to Van. He's going to do a second part where he shows you how to carve the rest of the spoon. But in this first video, he takes you through the process of carving the hillbilly bust. He starts with a cutout. It looks like it was a bandsaw cutout. And it takes about 45 minutes to show you the entire carving process for the hillbilly bust. Now, Van uses a variety of tools, as usual, and he adds commentary throughout the video to help you along the way. Now, Van mentions that he's going to be sharing the pattern for this carving. I did check his website. I looked in the description below the video. I haven't found the pattern yet, but maybe you can reach out, leave a comment for Van and let him know you're interested in the pattern. Sadly, the wood carving community has lost a legend. Harley Refsal passed away yesterday. His son, Martin, shared the news in a Facebook post. This morning, my father, Harley Refsal, successfully completed his earthly journey. I couldn't be more proud of him. Harley peacefully passed away at 10:44 a.m., surrounded by family and friends. That was yesterday. Harley was born in 1944, and during his lifetime he had many accomplishments. He authored 8 woodcarving books. He was an amazing artist, teacher, and mentor to woodcarvers all over the world. And his flat plane style carvings are renowned and treasured. And he will certainly be missed. Last year we did a profile on Harley Refsal, a community profile, and we kind of shared a story about how his desire as a young boy to have a wooden toy tomahawk may have led to him becoming a woodcarver. If you missed that, or if you've missed any of our previous episodes, you can click right over here. If you want to see the profile on Harley, it's in episode number 8. Thanks for being here, folks. We'll see you next week.